Why don't you need to compost anymore?
That's a great question. And when it comes to laying out your table, what goes first, the fork or the spoon?
This is totally useless information with Nick and Roy. Listen, laugh, and learn.
Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Roy. And we scoured the internet this week and did all kinds of fun stuff this week to find you guys information that you're going to want to hear about.
Exactly. Totally useless information is what we gathered for you. And we're going to tell you all about the Fort Meyers Film Festival. And in the news, he shot a slingshot to save his sister.
Totally useless information. It's everything you never needed to know.
Now, usually Nick is 1,500 miles away in Canada, but today Nick is 15 feet away from me in my lanai by my pool.
I've come down to Fort Myers, and one of the reasons is, other than to put Roy back in his place, is also to visit the Fort Myers Film Festival. We'll tell you all about that, but I'm really excited because today we have one or two great people who are part of the film festival, including its founder. So those interviews are coming right up. But let's get to some totally useless information, shall we?
Willkommen, bienvenue, benvenuto, bonjour. Welcome to Customs and Traditions with Nick and Roy.
Yeah, I'm going to give you my teaser right off the bat because why wait? So when you're setting the table, you know, there's a certain way for you to set the table, and there's certain flatware etiquette that needs to be followed, and it's laid in on the table in order of use. So, for example,
Flatware sounds like your girlfriend in high school.
Oh, come on now, she developed eventually. The placements of this flatware is it starts on the outside of the place setting and moves inward towards the plate. Because of the majority of people are right-handed, the wrong people, the knife and spoon are laid on the right side of the place setting, and the fork is on the left. This way, us lefty people can stab you. Now, with an uneven... Now you're thinking, okay, what if I have a cocktail party that has an uneven number of people? Well, this is what you do. The odd number place settings are laid opposite the middle of the even number place settings. Got that?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That's
right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Right. Now it's your turn to talk. I mean, that's how it works with a show.
Oh, that's it? That was the end?
That was the end. That's all you need to know, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. Next time, please say wake up.
Okay. Wait. No, we're not. We haven't done dreams yet. We're talking about customs and traditions.
It's so funny. You said your girlfriend from high school eventually developed, and
Yeah.
I spoke to her last week, and she said, "Has Nick ever developed?"
Oh boy. Yeah.
Oh.
Exactly. See, I have a photographic memory, but it's still being developed.
In Asia,
Mm-hmm.
if you slurp your food, it is considered great food.
Really?
Yes, the better the food tastes, the more you want to slurp it as a compliment.
But here in
If-
but hold on, but in
yeah.
North America, that's rude. That's disgusting sounding, actually.
Well, wait, it gets even better. If you burp, it's considered the ultimate compliment.
Okay.
So first you slurp it, then you burp it. It's like a song. First you slurp it, then you burp it.
Okay, has a kind of nice ring to it. Now, what happens if the expulsion of gas happens from the south, not the north?
Oh no! If you slurp it, burp it, and fart it, it's not good.
No, it's not. At least not for your co-dinner guests, anyway.
I guess that would be slurp it, burp it, and chirp it.
We're starting a new trend here. The Festival of Scrambled Eggs in Bosnia. I don't know. Are you a fan of scrambled eggs?
I'm not even a fan of Bosnia.
Oh, come on. They're nice people.
No.
Well,
I the Scrambled Egg Festival?
Yes. In Zenica, Bosnia, they marked the start of the spring season with an unusual tribute to scrambled eggs known in Bosnia as Cimburi Jada.
Cimburi Jada.
You got it. They start with the large breakfast of eggs cooked in a large pan in a city park near the river. Then they spend the rest of the day partying, barbecuing, and jumping into the river. Because why not?
Ah, yeah, but they have to wait 20 minutes after they eat to jump in the river.
Yeah, that's what's suggested. Wait at least 20 minutes before you jump into the river after eating lots of scrambled eggs in Bosnia.
Let me ask you a question. Do they scramble the eggs before or after they jump into the river?
Well, they slurp it, then they burp it.
And they chirp it.
And they chirp it. And they have water bubbles in the river.
Wow. I love this one coming up. Mexicans eat 12 grapes at midnight on New Year's Eve. One grape for every month for the new year to give them good luck.
I was wondering what the significance of the number 12 is, but that makes sense.
Yeah. 12 grapes. It's a Mexican custom for New Year's Eve. We have a custom here in the United States. It's called getting completely hammered.
Yes, and they get hungover the next day. Now, there's some households where it's considered to be rude if you wear your shoes inside the house.
I was going to say something to you now that you're down here.
Oh,
No,
sorry.
yeah.
Did I have to take off my shoes?
Please don't.
That's right. It all depends on your foot hygiene. The rules about wearing shoes in the house varies from region to region around the world, but it is considered rude and offensive in many Northern and Eastern European countries.
Oh, to take them off?
It's considered rude to be wearing the shoes, so you need to take the shoes off. Not all Americans, as I sit here in America, not all Americans wear their outside shoes inside someone else's home, but it is common. So sometimes they'll bring their own inside shoes, so they'll take off the outside shoes at the door, and as a courtesy, they'll put on shoes, but they're inside shoes. You're not bringing all that dirt and grime and all that garbage inside.
Right. We have specific shoes because we're a wealthy country.
Oh, very much so.
We have shoes for every occasion.
That's
in
right.
fact, sometimes we actually wear our shoes on our head on New Year's Eve when we get hammered.
Yes, that's been known to happen once or twice only, but I apologize.
Yes. But, this is so funny. We don't think about it, but language is technically a custom.
Oh, okay.
Because you live in a country, you have a specific language. That is your custom to speak that language. So, how many languages are there around the world? Now, this is not exact because there are some languages like in the Philippine Islands that there's like 6,000 islands and each island has some sort of different crazy dialect.
Right.
But technically, there are 6,000 known spoken languages around the world. 6,000.
Well, speaking of countries around the world.
Sucks to be a UN interpreter, I'll tell you that.
It does. Well, in the city of Toronto, which I normally reside, but today I'm sitting here in Fort Myers, Florida. Beautiful Fort Myers, Florida, I might add. You have a really beautiful city here. Is this considered a city? Is Fort Myers a city? What is it?
Is this considered the epicenter of the world, Nick?
It probably is. Well, don't worry about it. Where I normally live in Toronto, it's the center of the universe, so we're close. I'll see your world and raise you a universe. So
how many languages get back to this?
Okay, what was I saying? Yes, okay. In Toronto, there are easily, at least at last count, over 160 different languages spoken in Toronto. There are many, many cultures that reside in the city of Toronto. Now,
and soon you will learn what we did and build a border fence.
No. No, we are welcoming people. In fact, Toronto, translated from the original language, means meeting place, the place to meet.
Oh,
so come to
Toronto. Is that true?
It is true. And so we are in 70 different countries on this program. So thank you to everyone who listens to us around the world. We are a global podcast, 70 countries around the world. We're on the iHeartRadio Talk Network in Canada and coast to coast to coast. And people ask me, just the other day, we were recording some of the interviews you're going to hear from the Fort Meyers Film Festival, and they said, "Wait,
we have fun?
We
have fun with that?"
They asked me, "Are you stuttering when you say in Canada it's coast to coast to coast?" No, it's not. We have 3 coasts in Canada. Do you know what they are?
Nobody understood that.
Yeah.
Nobody understood when you say coast to coast to coast. They don't get it.
Atlantic.
And they were quite shocked. We gave them some useless information.
Well, that's
that
what we
you
do.
have 3 coasts.
We were on location, and people were wondering, first of all, you look like that, and then we said, yes, we do, and we apologized.
Speak for yourself, Nick.
So, well, do you know what the coasts are then?
Yeah, you said it. The Atlantic, the Pacific, and the Adriatic. What did you say?
Arctic.
Arctic.
Yeah,
Arctic.
there are
Yeah.
three. There are Canadian
That
coastlines.
shows how much I listen to Nick, folks.
That's right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Everybody else seemed pretty interested.
But you know what? You are interested, and we thank you for that. As you're listening to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy.
Down the garden path with Nick and Roy.
Now that's our intro from our wonderful voice lady, and she does a great job. She's supposed to be Mother Nature, but the birds in the background sound very much like where I'm sitting right now. Hang on, I'm sitting poolside. No, it's beautiful. It's really nice here in Fort Myers. So we come to you from sunny Fort Myers, and as we mentioned, normally Roy and I are 1,500 miles apart. Today, we're 15 feet apart, and that's because it's the law. So here's some gardening stuff.
Down here in Fort Myers, if you're a Canadian, you have to be 15 feet away from any American. It's the law of Canadians,
It
just
is.
so you know.
It is. Stay away from the crazy people. Okay, so daisies are weeds. We all love daisies, right? You ever pick daisies? They're beautiful flowers. But
No, Nick, I haven't, but go ahead. I'll trust you on this
Well,
one.
so
Bouncing through the daisy fields with no shoes on.
Yes, exactly. English daisies, or also the common daisy, is a weed of home lawns, parks, and other turf areas. This species is often found growing in moist, fertile soils and in full sun or partial shade. It produces basal rosettes that spread and form clumps or patches in turf. So yes, daisies are weeds.
Attention, people that have garden fences.
Okay.
This is a special information that you need to know about. Your fence is normally going to be between 5 and 6 feet around a garden area. Well, guess what? Deer can jump over 8 feet. So if you're finding a lot of eaten items in your garden area, chances are the deer are just jumping into the garden, eating what they want, and then jumping out. You must have at least an 8-foot fence to clear so that the deer cannot clear and get into your garden. But 8-foot fences are a little bit more annoying to look at and harder to find. So there are some other ways. You can put wind chimes because deer seem not to like them very much.
Mm-hmm.
And also automatic lights that'll go on as the deer approaches the fence will scare the deer away. I know that anytime a light is shined on Nick, he gets very nervous and runs away as well.
That's right. It is. And, that was a rude way to wake me up last night, but it's okay. He shone a light on my face. Boy, it sounds like, this sounds like the beginnings of a country song. He shone the light on my face.
Yeah.
My dog ran away with my wife. And
the deer can jump, I remember saying to Nick to jump. We were up on top of this very high building, the Luminary Hotel, doing the interviews. And I was like, jump.
On your mark. So up in Canada where I reside, they have the Canadian Tulip Festival. In Ottawa, the nation's capital, the Canada Tulip Festival is surely the most colorful event in the country. The festival features, get this, 100 tulip varieties spread across 120 flower beds at about 14,000 square meters of blooms. And if you're thinking, well, how big is that? Think of 9 NHL arenas, okay? And this
9
NHL arenas. There's 14,000 square meters where these tulip beds are spread across. Now, this tradition started as a gesture of heartfelt thanks. During World War II, Canada was a safe haven for Dutch Princess Juliana and her children. So Princess Margaret was born in Ottawa Civic Hospital. And in 1945, the Dutch government sent 100,000 tulip bulbs to Canada to express their gratitude. Princess Juliana followed suit, donating an additional 20,500 bulbs the next year. And so this very rich tradition of the Canadian tulips was born because Princess Margaret was born in an Ottawa hospital.
Oh, wow. Yeah, folks that listen to the show know that I'm a musician.
Yes.
And every musician has some crazy thing that they do, and I play keyboards, so
it's all about placement. It all depends where you put the G clef.
We like to call that the G spot, Nick.
Yeah, well, wait a minute. What instrument do you play? The keyboards? Do you play guitar?
I play guitar and keyboards.
Okay. And on your guitar, do you have a G string, or are you wearing it right now?
I'm wearing it.
Oh,
Yes.
that's what I thought.
Yeah. You can never get enough.
Yeah.
you
By
know,
the
you
way,
just can
wind
never get enough.
chimes and wearing a G string is another way to scare away the deer.
Exactly. Nick and a G string pretty much would scare away anything. If there's an alien attack, I'm going to stick Nick right up in front with a G string on. The aliens would be like, we cannot win.
We give up. Awesome.
Okay, hippies, tree hugging hippies, listen up.
Yeah.
You do not need to compost anymore. This was my teaser. There is absolutely no need to compost. If you use eggs, if you cut up vegetables, banana peels, coffee, etc., anything degradable like that, you take it, you chop it up as much as you can. You don't have to go crazy. And you spread it around the soil around your plants. You do not need to compost it. The nutrients will work their way into the soil all on their own just from rain or watering.
Okay. That's almost useful information, isn't it?
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to do it. That's a mess.
I just declare that useful information.
I tend to just take all of my garbage and rubbish like that and throw it on the tree hugging hippies.
Yes. And then you wind up calling them rubbish.
Or I wait for Nick to do a comedy routine and just pelt them with tomatoes.
That's right. That's how they come up with dirt and rotten tomatoes. They were thinking of me. Now, let me give you some more information about the tulip, because the tulip, with the history that I told you, the rich history of the tulips in Ottawa, the tulip is the official flower of Ottawa. In 2000,
is it?
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, that's, listen up. In 2001, the tulip became the official flower of the city of Ottawa. With the Ottawa River and Parliament buildings in the background, the flower bed mirrors one of Maylock's most famous photos, which appeared on a Canada Post stamp. So having this image of all these tulips with the Parliament buildings and the Ottawa River, quite picturesque, really nice scene. But the tulip is the official flower of the city of Ottawa, Canada's capital.
Kind of an annoying, fussy flower if you think about it.
Yeah.
You wait all that time for one bulb to sprout that up, and then one comes back again next year. It's,
It's interesting because, you have to plant them in the fall, and then they come up in the spring.
Yeah, really weird. Weird. Bulbs are weird. They're like alien things.
Yeah. Yeah, they call us many people call us bulbs, too. I wonder why.
So those they call you bulb head.
Yeah.
And I know why.
Of course. Exactly.
I recently, if people that listen to the show might know, I think I spoke about that. I went with my wife. We went down to South America. We were in Colombia, Costa Rica, Panama. We were in Dominican Republic, Aruba, Curacao. We were all over South America.
Nice.
And the Western Caribbean. And we went for the first time to Costa Rica. And being that this is Garden Path, one of the most amazing things, Chiquita Banana Company, which I think was called the Great Something Banana Company at the time, they took over a lot of land in Costa Rica by building infrastructure for the Costa Rican people who were very poor. And they realized this was great, fantastic soil for growing bananas. Most of the bananas in the world come from Costa Rica. And I was blessed with my wife to be able to drive through the banana plantations to see it. Nick, you cannot not, you just see forever banana, I guess, trees or whatever you want to call them. But they come in what's called hands with loads and loads of bananas, and they're covered up with these cloths. But the thing that we found the most interesting was the Costa Ricans take the small bananas at the top of what's called the hand, the big bunch of bananas,
right,
and they save them for the Costa Rican people because they're so sweet and tasty. Well, we, of course, got to taste these little bananas, which were fantastic. I want to find out how the hell you get them. They normally don't ship them off the island, but I would love to find out how to get it. It's the Costa Rican little mini bananas. They're delicious. They're amazing. What a great trip. Costa Rica, cool. Literally, the whole country is growing something, either coffee or bananas or pineapples or, so really cool.
Well, yeah, it sounds like really like a lot of fun, and I know you visited other places on that cruise, so we will hear more all about that. So you go to our website.
Okay, I want to tell them about the website, Nick, to go to nickandroy.com and tap onto the Nick and Roy store.
Why?
And see all the crazy stuff that we have there. And we're not just trying to sell you stuff. We have the birthday messages, which are unbelievable. You get the birthday message, which is the greatest gift ever invented by God. And then on top of that, you also get a free year of our newsletter and a free year of the newsletter for the person that you gave the birthday to. That alone is like $40. You're almost getting the birthday message for free. Go to nickandroy.com, tap onto the Nick and Roy store, and you'll see it's a fantastic gift. People will talk about it. It'll be the best gift you ever bought for anyone.
We're really generous people because normally 12 issues of the Totally Useless VIP newsletter is $19.95 for the 12 issues. But because, like Roy mentioned, because if you order a birthday or anniversary message for that matter, because we do those as well, you as well as the recipient of that gift will receive a complimentary 12 issues of Totally Useless Information VIP newsletter. And that's all you have to do is go to our website, which is
nickandroy.com, nickandroy.com.
You're listening to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. We are really excited. This is a special episode from the Fort Meyers Film Festival. We are in the Luminary Hotel. We are actually, I was going to say live. We are live when we recorded this, and they don't know we're here yet, so we better hurry up with this interview.
Yeah.
But we had to...
We're in the parking lot.
We're in the parking lot, but we had to track him down because he's really, really busy. We have the founder of the Fort Meyers Film Festival. He's world-renowned.
What?
People know him everywhere.
Yes.
Because of posters it's a wanted poster.
That's right, exactly. You can find them in every post office across
People know
America.
him everywhere because that's what it said on his bio. People know me everywhere.
Eric Raditz, welcome back to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy.
Yeah.
What a pleasure. Thanks for coming to Fort Myers. You guys, this is a cool place to live now.
Yeah.
When are we going to get you to move here from Canada, eh?
As soon as the statute of limitations runs out.
Yeah.
And when they
He's
figure out, see,
wanted.
I'm part of the witness protection program. Here's the thing. I didn't change my name. It totally throws them off.
That's true.
Right?
What was your original name?
I can't tell you that.
Oh, come on, Nick.
Eric, first of all, now when we talked to you a while ago, a few weeks ago on our show, we talked about the film festival that's coming and all the things that you have to do to make sure it happened. But here we are in the middle of the film festival. How are you feeling, man?
I'm so excited. You go to some of these events in town and around town and throughout the different places on the planet that are really hyped. Some of these nonprofit events that make a lot of money for a lot of good causes, especially in town, you go to them, you spend $200 to get a plate of kind of rubbery chicken food, and then the whole night they ask you for more money. And it's good because it helps people. And everyone's like, this was great, and it was, but it was terribly boring. This festival actually has a lot of exciting things going on, and I think it's the most exciting thing that's happening in Fort Myers every year. This is the 13th annual Fort Myers Film Festival. We have films. We have filmmakers coming in from all over the world. We've got parties. We've got great food. We've got DJs, music, and the smartest people on the planet come here, like you two, who are the smartest people on the planet. Well, I think Nick is one of the. I don't know about Roy so much, but
No, 100% not.
No, but wait a minute. See, I didn't make a film like Roy did, so I mean, I might be smart enough.
Well, I was going to double down on what Eric said, and having done a film and been involved in film festivals, this is a different film festival. It has a totally different vibe.
Why? What is it about this film festival that's different? Eric?
I think that it's more of the fact that he put it together as a film festival for people. It's really about people. The showings where the community is involved every week on what do you do on Mondays?
yeah, we do Independent Film Festival, a live film series hosted by myself and the lovely Melissa DeHaven. And you're right, but it is about people. Film festivals, like organizations, like companies, like baseball teams, like radio podcasts, develop personalities based upon the people who are powering them. And I kind of think that a lot of the folks here are kind of cut from the similar cloth. They are interested in the entertaining aspect of filmmaking. They are interested in passion projects that makes a difference in various causes. They're interested in finding and meeting interesting and intellectual people who are intelligent and care about the planet and care about causes and care about making a difference and caring about helping people and helping save lives. And it seems like too much, but it's all true. And you're right. It is about the people, and it's about the power of filmmaking.
So it's the people who chose the films in this film festival. Is that what you're telling us?
No, the people didn't choose it. I chose the films, man.
Right.
Do you not know how film festivals work?
Yeah, they put money in his pocket and then he picks the films. This is the way it worked. That's how he did it with me.
Well, when we talked to you the last time,
That was just you, Roy, because your film sucked.
wait a minute. No, you said it was a stroke of genius. No, that's right. No, you suffered a stroke.
Yeah.
You felt like you suffered a stroke.
That's
No,
when
I
you watched
called
the
Roy
show.
a stroke. That's what I
Yeah.
called him. Jesus.
Okay, so you told us that I asked you about when you read scripts.
Wait a
and
second.
what
You
helps-
brought up Mr. Haviland, did you not?
Who's Mr. Haviland?
Mr. Haviland, I said.
No.
Wait a minute. I was in the middle of a question.
What?
I was in the
You
middle of a
have,
question.
have a land.
Mi-
We have
Haviland-
landed at the Luminary Hotel, dude. How high are you guys right now? Can you smoke weed in Canada?
It
Nick?
is legal, but I
It's,
haven't
no,
touched
it's
it.
bad.
But
Let
is
me
it-
tell you, I was in Toronto. You walk in the streets, you think it's here.
Oh,
It's
come on.
practically legal, but there you just buy it. And everybody's stoned. I
Is
went to
there-
get a cup of coffee. The guy dropped it on me.
I want to see the documentary on the cool Canadian drug that makes Canadians so damn cool and nice.
Yeah.
Is there some
They're not
drug
nice.
that
They
we don't-
just apologize.
Is there a secret Canadian drug, or is it just maple syrup?
It's the cold weather is what it is. We're so cold that we need to hug each other, not because we love each other, because it's for body heat.
Wait, you don't love
To
each
keep us-
other?
Listen.
So that's inauthentic?
Let me just tell.
I had
stop,
such
stop,
a-
stop, stop.
Keen.
Canada is a beautiful
we go.
country. Okay, Toronto
very
has
beautiful.
4 seasons, my friend.
Yeah.
4
Cold,
seasons.
cold. Maple
Colder,
syrup.
No.
coldest.
3 months of cold and 1 season of pork skating. No,
Pork
we
skating?
have-
They skate on what? Pork rinds? Do they use those
That's
instead
a
of
club,
skating?
actually, in New York.
Hey, listen, I told you.
Pork skating.
What do you call a pig who goes to one of those massage parlors? Pulled pork. That's what he told me the
Oh,
other day.
this is
Oh.
wrong. This is wrong. Thank
No.
God for editing.
Let's get. Who says I'm going to edit this? This is live to tape. Eric, the last time we asked you, when you read a script, what helps take that script and turn it into a film? Roy said $100 in each page.
Right.
That's not true.
No.
For some people, there's probably a way to buy your way into making a film. Yeah, I mean, you ask the right person to read a script, and if it's bad, they'll still do it. But those people are terrible people.
Right.
Yeah. I
mean,
agree.
You know, and especially independent film, a lot of these people are making films because they're tied to a project. They have a cause. We played a film this year, and it was actually about sarcoidosis. Steve Hilfiger did a documentary about Bernie Mac, who died of sarcoidosis. And he... And
What is sarcoidosis?
It's basically it's a type of disease that takes organs and makes them not function properly. And
Oh, I have that, but I have these little blue pills that
went
take
there.
care of that problem
you've got sarcoidosis
of the Netherland.
Of the
Yeah.
nether region, yeah. Roy heard nether region. He
Explain.
thought he had to call his travel
Yeah.
agent. No, the nether
I thought it was
region is-
affecting your brain, but wait, you don't have one.
He's sitting on it. Totally useless information with Nick and Roy is what you're listening to, in case you were wondering. Eric Radich is here, the founder of the Fort Myers Film Festival. How much sleep did you get over the past 3 days?
4 hours.
Total.
Total.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's fun, exciting, exhilarating. No, I'm averaging about 3 hours a night.
Right.
Is that more than usual? Like if you're not
The
doing
man
film
has a
fe-
suit jacket on with like 8 cans of Red Bull sticking out of every pocket.
Hey, that's not Red Bull.
It's bull is what it is.
It's just bull.
Yeah. So 3 hours during the film festival. When you're not film festivaling,
Right. Yeah.
how many hours would you normally get?
I get 8.
Okay.
I'm getting a good 8.
He's got to get his beauty sleep. Something's got to help
I like
him out.
sleep. Sleep is fun, but there's
It is.
plenty of time to sleep when you're dead.
That's what they say. That's what
That's
they tell
true.
us.
So-
That's true.
So what's next? So after this film festival
Right.
is done, it ends on May the 21st. Okay, that's when the
Mm-hmm.
film festival ends. So then what's next? Do you start planning next year's film festival? Or do you take a couple of weeks off? What happens
I take
next?
a couple weeks off. Yeah, you know, each film festival I've decided we bring fresh filmmakers with fresh projects, and it's so exciting because it's a nice blend of interesting people, and it's almost like it's kind of it gets you a little bit high a little bit. Just the excitement that comes with knowing that we're making a difference with films.
Yep.
We're meeting filmmakers that are going to do big things, that have gone on to do big things, and that are really cool. And then you have to kind of just like sit back and I think decompress a little bit. And probably
let me tell you exactly what happens when the film festival is over. Eric takes his duffel bags of money to the Cayman Islands.
Yeah, and I buy lots of drugs and I sell them.
Giving the wrong impression. So we're really excited for you because you're like when we talked to you a few weeks ago, you were like pumped. You're like, okay, but anytime you have a big event, it takes a lot of planning. It's not just you. You have I'm sure you have a great team behind you, a lot of volunteers that help you out, and that's fantastic. So will this be Eric Raditz's legacy that he is the guy who?
I hope
it
not.
already
I
is.
hope not.
It already is his legacy.
I must be destined for better.
You come
things
to
than
Fort
just
Myers,
this.
you say his name, and everybody
No,
knows who
He
he
said
is.
he's destined for better things than what? This show? This
Well,
program?
definitely this show.
You
but
say
I
his
think-
name at the police department, and everybody knows who he is.
Exactly.
dude. I'm gonna
He's
say
exposed himself to be a wonderful guy.
emotionally, emotionally.
No, he's been in photography before, as we mentioned, and when he's talking about exposure, that's not what he meant.
It's darkroombehavior.com.
It is. And Roy knows a lot about dark rooms.
That's right.
So, Eric, thank you very much for
Mostly
inviting
theaters.
us.
Always a pleasure.
Because usually when people invite us, they don't keep their word.
Yeah.
They invite us to go somewhere, and then they never show up. So, thank you for inviting us.
You're welcome.
We really appreciate the Luminary
Thank you.
Hotel. We were kidding around.
Did you check in at the front? Because I don't think they want you here.
No, but we were looking for like the swag
In that
bags.
case,
Do
we
you
better
give
end-
us underwear as well?
Hold on.
Can I have some of that underwear?
Since the very time is very limited, we need to end this conversation right now because the Luminary Hotel is about to kick us
Yeah,
out. But in the
security
meantime,
guards
Not that
on
we
his
don't
way.
love you, but let's move on to someone else.
Congratulations. All kidding.
It's always a pleasure to have you here. Enjoy the Fort Myers Film Festival.
Thank you, Eric Raditz, the founder of the Fort Myers Film Festival. Thank you for joining us on Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy.
Love you guys. Give me some of that underwear. Bye.
You're listening to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. Listen, laugh, and learn.
What's in the mailbag? What's in the mail?
My email today, my mailbag comes from Lisa from Detroit, Michigan. Dear Nick and Roy, we'd love listening to your show every week. We listen to you on the radio in Windsor, which is our station CKLW, by the way, which is on the iHeartRadio Talk Network. She says we stay up late to listen to it because we're on at midnight on across the country, and in some markets we're on a second time because they can't get enough of us. So she says we don't miss too many. But here's my question. One night while I was listening to your show, there happened to be a lightning storm going on. It lit up the sky, and it looked like a zigzag formation.
The old zigzag.
The old zigzag. Would you know why that is? Well, Lisa from Detroit, Michigan, thank you very much for your email. I really appreciate that. And thank you for listening. And all across Canada, we want to thank you for listening as well as the 70 countries around the world. Why lightning travels in zigzag, Lisa wants to know. Well, lightning bolts are jagged because the electrical discharge follows the path of least resistance.
Huh, sounds like marriage.
Yeah. It follows the path of least resistance in the air, which is not typically conductive itself. And so depending on the pollutants, temperature, and humidity, the bolt will zigzag its way down the easiest route possible. So there you go, Lisa.
Harold W. writes from New York, NYC. So those of you that are not from New York, that's code word for Manhattan.
Sure.
People that write that they want everyone to know they're from Manhattan.
NYC.
So
yeah.
So he writes, he says, you guys made a birthday message. He's from New York. You guys,
Hey, you guys, how you doing?
you guys. I'm gonna say it like he would.
Okay.
You guys made a birthday message for me. It was the best thing I ever got in my entire life.
It was forget about it. It's what it was. Forget about it. You don't want to know. Well, we do want to know.
So he actually writes on that his wife purchased it for him.
Uh-huh.
It is the greatest. He said the greatest gift. And I remember who this gentleman is. We're not going to, of course, use his last name, but he is 70 years old. So he's been around for a while, the planet. And
Yeah.
and he says it's the greatest gift he's ever received.
Today on the show, we talked about gardens. We talked about customs. We also visited some people from the Fort Myers Film Festival. It's time for the news.
And now, from around the corner and around the world, this is TUI News.
A teenager helped save his younger sister from an alleged kidnapper by shooting the suspect with his slingshot.
Mm-hmm.
The 8
Was his name David?
That's right. Yeah, and the perpetrator's name was Goliath. Go figure. What were the chances?
A little guy named David.
David, yeah. He was a little Jewish boy from Michigan.
A little Jewish boy from Michigan.
That's
yeah.
right. So the teenager boy saved his sister. Now, the 8-year-old girl was mushroom hunting in her backyard in Alpena Township.
These people are really out there.
Yeah, she's...
I'm going, Mom, Dad, going mushroom hunting.
Well, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, an unknown male appeared from the woods. So, yes, they're out in the wood. They're out in the sticks. According to Michigan State Police, the suspect had come through the woods onto the property and came from behind her, grabbed her like you'd see in the movies, her hand over her mouth, arm around the waist, and was attempting to pull her into the woods.
Why was he doing this? Did we have a motive for why he wanted to get her into the woods?
Well, you know what? We didn't get to that.
Was he attracted to mushroom hunters?
We don't know, but the girl was able to break free because her 13-year-old brother also.
Wait, now how old is the girl?
She's 8 years old. The 8-year-old girl was a mushroom.
8-year-old. So we got a mushroom hunter and a pedophile hunter. But go ahead.
Well, we're not sure, but we do know that the boy's brother, 13-year-old, witnessed the attack and shot the assailant in the head and chest with his slingshot. So he must have gotten 2 shots off, right? Because he's able to hit him in the head. So now, according to the...
this should be illegal. I'm going to say right now, I think all automatic slingshots should be made illegal.
That's right. Grimshaw called the teenager's actions...
Grimshaw? The guy's name is Grimshaw?
Grimshaw.
Like the carving of boned whale tusks?
Is it called Grimshaw?
Scrimshaw.
No, it's Grimshaw. That's his cousin.
Oh, Mr. Grimshaw.
Grimshaw, not Scrimshaw. So So according to Grimshaw, from the Michigan State Police, he really is the one, the teenage boy who saved his sister's life. He should be commended.
So he shot him in the head and the chest.
The chest. Now the suspect fled the area, but was located by state troopers hiding at a nearby gas station, and he was able to be identified because, well, he had
a welt on his head. He had a knot on his head that there was hanging something from. Could you imagine, Nick, if the guy was just picking the girl up and pushing her away because there was like a bee's nest or something there, and this 13-year-old kid whacks him in the head with the slingshot
and his
with
chest,
a rock or something?
But so because the suspect sustained injuries from the slingshot to the wounds to the head and the chest. The suspect was identified as a 17-year-old from Alpena, was taken into custody.
His pena.
Alpena.
He shot him in the pena?
No, he didn't. He allegedly...
Did you ask Sergeant Groinshot that?
Grimshaw. Grimshaw took a rim shot to the crime scene.
The old rim shot.
That's right, the rim shot. Wow, I saw a movie. The suspect, identified as a 17-year-old, was taken into custody and allegedly confessed to detectives as he planned on severely beating the victim.
Why?
Well, they're not sure.
I tell you the truth. There are a lot of people that are so pro-mushroom that they can't see it happening. They can't see the illegal harvesting of those poor mushrooms.
The suspect was arraigned on one count of attempted kidnapping and child enticement. So maybe you're onto something, because he was trying to entice the child. So this 17-year-old is a sick puppy. Also charged with one count of attempted assault to do great bodily harm, less than murder, according to the law, and one count of assault and battery. His bond, by the way, was set at $150,000, and the suspect is being charged as an adult, even though he's only 17 years old, but his name cannot be released by police.
And the girl was arrested for dealing psychedelic mushrooms.
That's right. Like, wow, man.
And the 16-year-old boy was also arrested for having an illegal weapon.
No, her brother was 13 years old.
They all went to jail
They all
happily
went
ever after.
happily ever after. Hey, speaking of happily ever after, we are done with this episode of Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy.
Didn't we have fun? Didn't we have fun at the Fort Meyers Film Festival?
We had a great time. In fact, we had so much fun that we're not only going to share some highlights with you. We shared some today. We're going to share
Speaking
some.
of highlights, we went to a party.
Oh yeah, yeah. That we can't. We have to wait for our lawyers to get back to us on that one. But we'll just say that we were well behaved before we got there. We want to thank Eric Raditz, a really fine host of he's the founder of the Fort
Well,
Myers.
he's not fine, but okay,
He's
whatever.
all right. He's so fine. He's the founder of the Fort Myers Film Festival. Thank you so much for being such a great host. We talked to him today. We also are going to feature a few more of the filmmakers from the film festival. That was alliteration there for you. We're going to feature some film festival fifi. Thank you for joining us.
And so until next time, tell somebody else, because I'm going to tell you, we're 70 countries. We can always use 71 or 72. Thank you so much for listening. It's because of you that our show is such a success.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Roy.
And yes, thank you very much for listening.
Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy is a production of nickandroy.com. Visit nickandroy.com to access the full library of episodes or wherever you get your podcasts.